Hello and welcome. I'm Brian Doxford, president of Prudent Lenders. I see, looks like a couple more people are still joining in, but we'll go through the opening remarks while they're logging in. First, a couple of housekeeping items. Everyone is muted. If you have thoughts, questions, feel free to type them in. We'll see them on our end. This webinar today will be recorded. Our hope is that you'll revisit what you see today as appropriate and share with colleagues as you see fit. I would like to say thank you for making time to be with us today. I would also like to thank our team who compiled and created the information that we plan to share with the audience today. So with that, let's go ahead and let's get started. During our time together today, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover talking points for selling the SBA loan programs, tips for addressing borrower questions about the SBA, and how to use your free SBA toolkit and increase, ultimately, your SBA activity. At the risk of sounding like an infomercial, wait, there's more. You've heard me say this before, and as we really get started, I think it's relevant to go back to basics. When a client comes to you, they come to you to seek direction, and ultimately, they're coming to you for routing. And sometimes, it's true, conventional financing is really not the right choice for an applicant. And the great thing is that you have another option. And clearly that other option is SBA financing. So to build on that, applicants come to you, their lender, for money, and not necessarily for a specific loan product. They're looking for a yes. And I think this is critical to note, they look to you to help determine which loan product is going to ultimately get them a yes. Did you know that based on several studies that have been done, some clients actually self-select out of an application process by not even applying? And you may be asking yourselves, well, why? And the answer is, many applicants assume that their bank of record or their lender will not even lend to them because they might, say, lack collateral, have too few years of experience, or etc. And this truth reinforces the need for lenders to market their SBA program. In other words, you have to let clients know that you, their lender, have plenty of resources available to help deliver more yeses. So this is where you would let your market know that SBA financing is indeed a part of your loan product offering. And let your centers of influence also know the same. As we see it, SBA loan programs help you keep the door open for clients and referral sources alike. In other words, SBA loan programs help you get to yes more often. So every institution will have a different idea and different strategies for building their own pipeline. Here on the screen are a few that are universal. First, statement stuffers. A lender may also consider actually marketing their SBA products via flyers. You could actually even use these as your statement stuffers. And even if you're sending clients digital statements, you could put some of these in your branch lobby. So an example, your tagline could be something like, do you have a high interest loan that you need to term out? Or have you been declined by a lender for financing on account of inadequate collateral, years in business, etc.? Then follow up with, our institution is now offering SBA financing. SBA loans can help small business owners access capital. And then have some sort of a call to action, like call us today to find out more. As a tip, if you are a depository institution, take note of this tip. Look at ACHs across all of your business accounts and determine, are clients borrowing from other lenders? So regardless of whether you use conventional or SBA loans to refinance these debts, doing this is a really good idea. And if you have an intern on staff, having them comb over ACH withdrawals is a perfect job and a great way for you to source deals amongst your own client base. Another way to build your pipeline: identify that you're an SBA lender on your website. Some clients will actually look for local SBA lenders, and I think it's very relevant to note that brokers, accountants, and attorneys, they also may turn to Google to find you. So celebrate the fact online that you're an SBA lender. Another thought is attend SBA networking events. There you might see what others are doing to promote their own programs. Also, you there would have a chance to meet professionals who are connected to the SBA space. Again, these might include attorneys, accountants, and etc. Also, let your centers of influence, or COIs as I'll call them throughout this presentation today, know that you make SBA loans. Now, I know it seems obvious, but it's easy to keep great news a secret. Perhaps an idea could be that you create a marketing piece very specifically for these COIs. For an example, you could have a flyer that you use to target these groups very specifically. As a bonus item, and not necessarily one that's listed on the screen, is that you as a lender could market that you're a lender by including one of the SBA stickers that says SBA lender on the doors of your offices, branches, and etc. If anyone that's listening in today would like one of these stickers, email me and I'll follow up and actually mail you one. Another thought: source your own deals. Train your branch to identify SBA deals. In other words, use your branch network. As an idea, previously we put together a PowerPoint on spotting SBA deals, and we would invite everyone to use that PowerPoint to equip your people with the basics. If anyone would like a one-on-one with their team, we can certainly set up a webinar. As a best practice for those that do leverage their branch networks, please don't forget to reward and recognize your branch staff for their efforts. This tends to keep people motivated for an extended period of time. My invitation on this screen: use this list of ideas as, let's call it a starter, and add your own ideas to it. From there, determine two critical things. One, who will own these initiatives within your institution? And two, what is a reasonable timeline for their completion? So I'll be so bold to say that by getting branch staff involved in promoting what you're doing, you're essentially creating a multiplier effect. The same is true of your centers of influence. So I would ensure, if I'm listening in today, that all of your COIs are, one, aware of, and two, promoting, or at minimum, thinking of you when they come across an SBA prospect. And again, we have some tools made available previously that you might use to help some of these folks identify what could be a prospective SBA deal. So the idea of the multiplier effect is that while you and your staff and your COIs are sourcing deals, we, through our partnership here at Prudent Lenders, are working behind the scenes to move your files along. As a best practice, I'll share with everyone that we see a number of successful lenders assign all leads from branch staff to what we would call a designated SBA champion. In other words, someone who knows the SBA process and is familiar with our team here at Prudent. So let's say once you as the lender have determined that by way of the work that you're doing, you've sourced a deal, it's not a fit to go conventional, and you're taking a client down the SBA route, then at that point, it's your job to ultimately sell the SBA program. And that's a good problem to have, right? Because at that point, the work that you've done in terms of building a pipeline has worked. It is our opinion that the best way to sell SBA is really to explain it. And how? You have to explain the process. You have to set expectations and field questions. It goes without saying, and as a reminder, our team at Prudent Lenders is always here to help. As a tip, and you see this on the screen, lenders out there, try completing an SBA application prior to asking one of your clients to do so. I promise that it'll be invaluable. Ideally, it should take you about an hour to complete an application, and your client, it's worth the hour investment. And you may be asking, so how do I explain SBA financing? So we'll cover and provide tools we've created to help you explain the SBA programs, but more on this in just a few minutes. Before I move to the next slide, I feel like it's relevant to be clear on something. So sometimes we see that lenders apologize to clients for offering SBA financing. And I'd be so bold to say that lenders should never apologize for using SBA financing to assist their client, but rather you should celebrate the fact that you're helping a client obtain the yes that they're looking for. So a couple of speaking points to just keep in mind when you're working with your clients and meeting with your clients. So it goes without saying that the SBA is similar to and different from conventional lending. So as a lender, it's your responsibility to explain to applicants that yes, there is more paperwork, but not too much. Yes, there are more approvals. In fact, the SBA indeed has to approve the request, but you, the lender, have partnered with an SBA expert. In that regards, that would be us at Prudent Lenders. And together, we ensure that the process is accurate and efficient. I would also go on to say to clients that the SBA has a brilliant reputation. I mean, you see the number on the screen, $24.5 billion in annual lending is really no joke. In addition to those items, certainly focus on when speaking with clients, and again, selling or explaining the SBA program, that the SBA offers favorable rates, terms, and fees. I would say in addition to the favorable rates, terms, and fees, I often think about the monthly payment of most SBA loans. Now, here I'll assume we're familiar with the process of buying a car. One of the very first questions a dealer will ask when shoppers are looking for a car is, what monthly payment are you looking for? From that point forward, the dealer really focuses their effort and attention on selling the payment or the payment amount and not necessarily the car. As an example, if a lender will only lend on a conventional basis using a maximum term of 5 years, an SBA loan could really come in handy. Let me elaborate. So let's just use a $250,000 loan and standard SBA pricing of prime plus 2.75. If you run that math, monthly payment would be approximately $5,000 a month for a 5-year loan. Now, if we use a 10-year term as allowed by the SBA in almost every instance, the monthly payment would drop down to roughly $3,000 a month. For small businesses where cash is king and oftentimes cash flow is tight, an extended repayment term is an absolute game changer. Now, granted, this example is not perfect. Conventional financing likely would offer a lower rate than SBA in terms of pricing, but you see the point. So to ensure your success in building the pipeline, selling/explaining to clients the process of SBA lending, we've created and we continue to create tools for you. This is certainly a plug for our portal. Earlier this year, we rolled out an exclusive portal for all of our clients. On our portal, we keep all of our information, forms, processes, and team contact information available and current. And we'll come back to that again in a few minutes, but simple, that's a plug for that. Before anyone can explain successfully to clients what to expect in the SBA loan process, they first must understand what the process entails. And what is the process? We've visually depicted it here. And we recognize you, our clients, oftentimes engage with your clients, in other words, applicants, long before you engage the team at Prudent Lenders. And we know that once you all engage us, we step up and use our, call it a toolbox full of tips and tools that we've created to expedite the process. But what about before? What about the work that you all do before Prudent Lenders enters the picture? So again, we know that your conversations start long before we come in the picture. Knowing this, we've prepared a number of resources for you, lenders, and some client-facing tools that should help you in your conversations with loan prospects long before you engage us. Our goal in all of these resources is to help streamline the top of your funnel, so you have the widest opportunity to see deal flow and stronger conversion rates. Additionally, we want to equip you all with tools to help you speak to your clients regarding the SBA process and to do so with confidence. So with that said, I am going to show you a new section on our website that we are launching for you, and it's called Your SBA Toolkit. This will actually send as a follow-up link to everyone. We'll do that outside of today's webinar. And I want to spend a few minutes now and go over the toolkit and explain to you what's there and how we believe it will be helpful for everyone. So goal is that we put resources at your fingertips. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. Let's say, for an example, that you're working with a client and that particular client needs financial projections. If you were to go to the toolkit, under template, our financial projections. Easy to use, easy for us to use, easy for the client to use, and those are literally right at your fingertips. We've compiled forms that come in handy in any stage of SBA lending. So let's say, for an example, that you have a request and you would like Chris Levy and our team of underwriters to prepare a fast track assessment. Well, right at your fingertips, here is the fast track assessment request, and you can gather this without ever even having to pick up the phone or email our team for it. In addition, the fast track assessment asks for an owner questionnaire and business questionnaire to be completed. So again, right at your fingertips, here are these documents. And you'll note that they're all fillable. In addition to compiling these documents, here is a fillable PFS. If you have questions or if your client has questions around SBA guarantee fees, the most recent fees are listed and spelled out right here again, conveniently compiled for your access. And of course, there's the application disclosures that are required, all conveniently bundled right here for you. Let's go to some other resources that we anticipate will be very helpful as you look to sell SBA loan programs to your clients, to your COIs. So if I were a manager at an institution and I was looking to sell SBA loans internally, I would start here at the very bottom. This is just a collateral piece, the benefits of SBA loan programs. And if you have a new hire or even a veteran on your team and you're looking to sell why your institution is offering your client base SBA loans, this is a brilliant piece of collateral that talks about why it is that you all are offering SBA financing. As a supplement to that, here's a SBA fact sheet. It tells you all the details of a 7A program. This is something that as, again, a manager or even just as a frontline person working with a client, this gives all the details around the 7A program at a very, very high level. These are items I should mention here that you all are welcome to download, to print, to distribute, and use as you see fit. Whatever is here is absolutely yours. But let's go up to the top here. this step-by-step loan application. This is a brand new resource that we created very specifically for those who are attending today. And it's an application resource guide. We created this guide really to be what we would call applicant facing. And let me elaborate on this. This resource speaks to the applicant. So you'll note that the language talks about them and you being their lender. We've addressed a couple of common questions that come up in lending. What is the SBA? And for those out there that eventually move forward with a loan application where the client is introduced to us, we identify who we are at Prudent Lenders. Additionally, we have compiled a glossary of terms that are very applicant-facing, terms that may be very unfamiliar to applicants. And here they are right at your fingertips. These are things that you could cut, copy, and paste this language. I wouldn't suggest memorizing it by any means, but you could learn it yourself, use it when you speak with clients, or download this document and forward it directly to applicants. In addition to the glossary of terms, we explain all of the SBA forms and their purposes, and even give some tips as it relates to the completion of the form 413, and just some common things that people tend to get wrong. Last but certainly not least on this page is a process map that you all can, and we suggest do use with applicants to help set expectations, or rather to sell and explain to applicants what the process is of SBA lending. And you'll note that here at the very top, we don't include the fast track assessment. The reason we do not include that is because oftentimes and typically a client really is not involved with us at Prudent Lenders at the fast track or FTA stage, but really the process starts at the underwriting checklist phase. So this resource is something that you could send as an entire document or as a standalone document to your clients in terms of helping clients visually see what the process is. We identify what each step is and how it works. To you as the lenders, we have a companion to that last visual, which is essentially some high-level talking points that, again, whether you're new to SBA lending or whether you're a veteran, here are some talking points around each step of the process. And these would be talking points that you, as the lender, could use to speak with your small business applicant to help them understand what the process is. And ultimately, the takeaway here is that the applicant would have received, call it a franchise type level of expectations. To say that differently, regardless of who's providing the explanation at the bank, the client hears it the same and knows exactly what to expect. The great thing about having some sort of a layout here of expectations that we can all collectively use is that in our own experience, it tends to lead to a much higher satisfaction levels amongst clients because, again, they know and we're all speaking and using the exact same language. So let me go back to this screen here. All of these tools will be available to you and your team. The way to access them will be through the portal, and we'll make sure to follow up at the conclusion of our webinar to provide you the appropriate links. One, to register if you haven't already, and then two, a link to this. But let's go back and we'll recap with the last few minutes that we have available. So I said it before, I'll say it again. The largest audience overlooked by SBA lenders in selling the SBA loan programs is a lender's own staff. So lenders, you have a captive audience. Talk to them. Staff can tend to be afraid of what they do not know, so fix that. The purpose of this webinar, the purpose of prior webinars, and the tools that we've created exclusively for you should go a long way in helping. If you assign an SBA champion within your institution, like I mentioned previously, you should be in pretty good shape. I would strongly encourage that everyone familiarize themselves with the toolkit that we created. Again, we'll send the link and you can certainly share that with all of your staff. Prudent Lenders, our tagline is the wise way to do SBA lending. And really, our tagline is extended to you all as our lending community. We know how to make SBA loans. And if ever at any time in the process you need help, our team is available. our team, our tools, our resources, all available to help you in the process. I'll pause here to see if there's any questions, and I'll look for anyone who may have already submitted a question. Let's see here. Someone early on asked, how do I access the toolkit? So like I said, we're going to send you that link. Someone else asked here, says, you mentioned selling the SBA loan programs to internal staff. Any tips for successfully doing that? So yes, so we share SBA tips and resources on our knowledge base portion of the website. We also have newsletters in the client portal. So I would say absolutely feel free to share those resources with your own staff. And also, if you do sign up for the portal, one of the nice things is that we deliver to your inbox at least twice a month great news around best practices, events, happenings in the SBA space. So I think that should be helpful. Someone else asked this question. It says, as I learn more about the SBA process, who should I reach out to when I have questions? A great question. So everyone that's on our team is actually listed on our website. And since I'm sharing my screen, I'll actually just show you what that looks like. If you go to the support screen of our website, our entire team is listed here. So names, faces, pictures, it's conveniently all compiled right here. So if you have any questions, it should be pretty easy to find the person that you need to direct your question to. With that said, if you have any questions that arise based on our time together, please reach out, contact me. My invitation is always the same. If you need anything, don't hesitate. Our team is an extension of your team. Moreover, my final question, do you have a deal that would benefit from an SBA guarantee? If a deal is on the margins of your conventional credit criteria and you want to see if it's eligible for SBA financing, we literally are only a phone call away. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate everyone's attention. We'll look forward to sending everyone the follow-up items, and we'll make ourselves available should anyone have any follow-up questions. Thanks again. Appreciate it.